There's something about that little voice that announces the recording and product. It's just so sweet.
You have already crumbled to the AI overlords.
I really am.
You already prefer their voice to ours.
You know what? I will say that there's something about a computerized voice that really feels a little bit like cutting edge to me.
Yeah.
Like, look, I even have computers working for me.
That's right.
Recording my conversations.
Slavery is once again legal, and it is at your hands.
I never thought of it that way. Oh, it's an interesting point of view. I can really be cracking the whip on these computers here.
That's right.
Myka Fox, how are you?
I'm great. I'm talking to Kendra Cunningham. How can I be better?
Listen, I know I already complimented you before we started the recording, but you're looking fabulous. I'm loving the style. And I love now, were you wearing this all day or did you get dressed for the video?
For the video. All day I was wearing a Rihanna t-shirt that I got from a 420 meme site of her sitting on her bodybuilder's shoulders, rolling a blunt on his bald head. And I've been wearing that shirt for 4 days straight. And I was like, you know what?
This is a good reason.
Put on a clean shirt for Kendra.
But I gotta say that I will now Google that shirt because it sounds like an amazing image. Because you are a weed smoker, yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I can legally say that now.
Are you a daily consumer or?
Almost.
Yeah.
I'll forget to every now and then. Sometimes I'm just too busy, don't think of it, but usually.
Is your preference smoking, or do you do edibles, or what's?
Yeah, I like smoking. I mean, I wish edibles were like better at it. I wish you ate it and you knew right away and then that was it, but no, they're a fucking whole other ball game. They're like, oh, you ate a meatball earlier? Well, now you're fucked. It's like, what? I just wanted to get high a little bit.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't really gamble with that stuff anymore because I've had too many just scare. Like, to me, I get almost scared when I'm too high. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like,
people don't talk about it, but weed is a very strong drug and it can be terrifying when you're too high. And there's nothing you can do to get yourself down. It's like people don't take it seriously, but it's a psychedelic.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It can make you hallucinate. Like, it is not for all times, at all purposes, at all strengths.
I agree. And I think that, like, I feel like if you do too much coke and then you say to people, oh, I'm freaking out, like, people are much more sympathetic than if you
not the people I talk to. Everyone's like, you fucking dirtbag. Drink a drink.
I don't know. I guess in my head, I think I'm always, if it has to do with weed and I feel like I'm out of control and I'm nervous, I'm way more hesitant to announce it to the people I'm with because I feel like I shouldn't be, this is just weed. I shouldn't be so whatever.
Yeah, it is embarrassing. And that's also the paranoia.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I prefer to smoke a joint over anything else, but I will admit that I really haven't been smoking a lot of weed lately. I've been trying to I'm trying to get focused on, I feel like sometimes when I'm not in a great headspace, it'll make me sad instead of happy.
Sure. Yeah. Any psychedelic, it depends on where you are mentally before the trip, right? And yeah, it's a mistake to not think of it as a psychedelic. It 100% is, and it can. Usually, I'm so used to it, like. But sometimes I'll smoke it, I'll be feeling great, and then I'll have one hit, I'll be like, oh, fuck, now I'm fucked. Just one hit, and I'm like, I know, like, I'm about to go out to a show, and I'm like, fuck, now I have to, like, go see all these people and perform, and my heart is right, and I smoke all the time.
Right. And so, it will just hit you, like, differently.
Yeah.
I could never smoke before I perform. I think I did, like, twice in my life, and it was a disaster. Wait, do you do other psychedelics? Do you do mushrooms and stuff?
I do mushrooms. Like that's not something I do regularly, but I've done it like many times.
Okay.
So I'll do it like a few times a year.
Right. And have you ever done like the whole microdosing thing?
For mushrooms?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually so maybe more than a few times. Like sometimes like I don't think to do it on my own because all the mushrooms I've ever owned are always like these dark craggly ones covered in the blue whatever shit, and they're like, this will fuck you up. I'm like, I don't know, like, but like a friend of mine gave me like a piece of a stem, and I like had just a piece and had like the most lovely floaty. I thought you had to like go the whole way to feel it, but you don't actually.
Huh, that's interesting. I've been contemplating doing that. But like, you know, they have the things now where you can go to an actual place.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And they'll like, you know, kind of
like a shaman experience.
Yeah, well, no, but like, even like, I think they have them in New York. I know they have them in New Hampshire, where like you'll go to this place and like they'll give you the mushrooms and you kind of sit in there. I don't know what it's called. It's almost like you're getting monitored while you're doing it. I don't know.
Listen, that is not for me. I do not need some stranger now monitoring me while I do mushrooms. That sounds actually terrifying. You know, like just some random fucking strip mall monitor like room where I'm trapped. Absolutely not. But like, I do listen to these science podcasts, you know.
By the way, you just convinced me to never do that. Okay, go ahead.
Good. Because who the fuck are these people?
I don't know.
Like, you know what I mean? Now you're all fucked up and locked in a room with them. I couldn't possibly. Wouldn't be me.
Suddenly I'm on like some sort of psychedelic porn site. But wait, what were you going to say about the scientists?
Oh, just that, you know, that there's like all these purported benefits of taking psychedelics, you know, like a cure depression and blah, 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 blah. But like, they do not mean when you take some with your friends and go by a lake. That is not like, I think you can have some ease in those things, but like, they're like, no, you have just as good a chance as fucking your shit up doing that. Like,
right.
They mean like in a monitored situation with like what you were saying in the strip mall, but like with a scientific bent, not just like doctor care, you know?
Oh my God. I'm going to, that's the whole thing. I feel like one of my biggest pet peeves about myself is that I have this recurring problem that I don't ask enough questions when I get involved in something. And I feel like that is a great question for me to now ask if I ever do it. Are you located in a strip mall? Like, like I don't want to show up for my prepaid mushroom appointment and be like, oh my God, I'm next to the freaking whatever that pretzel shop used to be.
Like if it was in Joshua Tree and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Like, but even then, like, it doesn't matter. I remember once we went on a mushroom, like a trip to Woodstock specifically to go do mushrooms in all of nature's glory. And it was a beautiful trip, but like a lot of the people there were first timers and I was not. And so I was like sort of this de facto leader, but the leader should not be doing mushrooms. I did. I was having a great time. Then I had some weird pain in my foot, immediately started spiraling about this pain in my foot. Oh my, but I'm like trying to put on a brave, and I'm leading like 10 other people, just pretending like I'm having a terrible trip.
Now, did you know all these other people?
I knew them all. They were friends, they were comics, and you know what I mean? Like everyone was having a great trip. I did have to talk one person out of the toilet. I was like, you have to stop staring into the toilet. But for the most part, it was a good time.
I would be like, I would also just be afraid that I would like start telling people things about them that I probably didn't want them to know.
Oh, like a truth serum.
Yes. I don't know. Does that ever happen with mushrooms? I have no idea. I mean, I've done mushrooms before, but not in a while.
I mean, there's a euphoria that comes. So you might get that like drunken, like, I love you and I see the energy in you and you're a beautiful, you know, you can kind of start to do that shit, but it's usually
I wouldn't be like, you owe me $20 from 3 years ago when you said you were going to do this thing.
I mean, you might.
Yeah.
If that's your strongest feeling about that person, that may very well be what comes out.
It would be kind of fun if you knew if there were mushrooms that were like, do you want to like spend 20 minutes getting rid of your rage? Take this one. Do you want to take, because I feel like I have a lot of rage that I would like to clean out, and I don't know how to really purge it all at once.
Really? You don't strike me as the rageful type, which makes sense that then you have to have rage purged.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give you an example of something that's really like making me angry lately. I called I went to an ENT, and they gave me a sample of this nose spray, and I was to take every night because I was waking up congested. Anyways, it worked awesome. And I would wake up every morning and I was like, I could breathe. I felt like a different person.
Yeah.
Breathe through my nostrils. I felt like totally different. Long story short, I run out of it. I call them. I say, can you have her call me in a prescription for this? They say, sure, no problem. A week later, still no prescription. So I call back. I said, hey, can you have her call me in this prescription? They go, yeah, no problem. I go, well, just so you know, I called last week and nobody did anything. And they're like, oh, okay. Well, we'll make sure to do it. And now I'm getting aggravated.
Yeah.
I go to the pharmacy. They're like, oh no, they didn't call it in the right way. So now I have to call 3 times. And I'm like, it was one of those things where I wanted to be like, hey, listen, if it's going to take me 3 times to get a prescription out of you, like, tell me that on my first visit. Be like, we love to have new patients, but just so you know, you got to call us 3 times before you get your prescription. And then I wouldn't be so aggravated. But now I'm like, I got to put it, I'm micromanaging Dr. Subin's staff.
Yes. Yeah.
Just give me and then I get mad at myself because I'm like, I'm getting really fucking aggravated that I don't have my nose spray. And I'm like, these are the things that make me angry. Nose spray.
Maybe if you could breathe better, you'd have more patience. I mean, I don't, this is not your,
Yeah.
Anything medical gets me up here immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sensitive and ailing, and help me. And I came to you for help, and now I'm helping you. It is up here every time.
I'm sensitive and ailing. What sign are you again?
Oh, it's too embarrassing. You know what? Actually, I'm coming to embrace it. I'm a Cancer.
Oh, that is a very sensitive sign.
I know. But they're hard on the outside, so they don't want to be known as being Cancers. I'm making this connection right now. So I don't believe in this, but
so did you just have a birthday, or are you having like?
I will. I'm at the end. I'm actually on the last day of Cancer season.
Oh, okay. So what's that?
July 21st.
Oh, all right. Good to know. I'll make a little note here. Yeah. It's so funny. My an old boss of mine who I saw last night, his birthday is July 21st. He's going to be 88 years old.
Holy cow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's great. And I know a lot of July 21st. We're all incredible.
You could have a little group about that. I'd watch that movie.
You know what I think it is? It's because it's 7/21. It's just such a lucky number.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's so true.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like we just went off and running, but I never really got to ask the questions that I love to ask, which I feel like I've known you for a long time. I don't really remember when and how we met, but do you have any idea?
I want to say it must have been around the time I was going to the Duplex open mic.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if we met there or even if you went there.
Yeah, I did sometimes. Yeah.
But I feel like that was like the group of people that I associate when I think of how we met at first.
Right. Which is probably what, 10? How many years do you think? A long time ago.
Yeah, maybe somewhere between 2010 and 2014.
Yeah, somewhere in there. And when did you come to New York?
The very last month of 2004. So almost 2005.
Oh, wow.
I've been here a long time.
Yeah. And you were in Arizona before you came here, or you were somewhere else?
No, I was in California first.
Oh.
Yeah,
like
going
LA?
to school. Yeah, I went to UC Irvine, and then I lived in LA.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Briefly, I was in LA for like 9 months before I was like, this is disgusting.
And were you doing comedy then?
I was taking improv classes.
Ah.
So I knew I wanted to be a comedian, but I didn't know how to get in.
Right. And when you were in high school, what did you do what were you doing in high school? Like, what were you up to?
So it was like, I was doing theater, and I was writing and doing and that sort of stuff, but I was not succeeding in theater. Like, I was not getting cast in plays. I was the vocal ensemble for 4 years. I was a little showgirl.
So you sing?
Not anymore, but I did sing.
Oh, wow. And you have a twin brother.
I do.
And did your twin brother also participate?
Not in the same thing. He played guitar and was in a band in high school.
Oh, okay.
So
and did you guys did you guys hang out together in high school, or?
Maybe towards the end of high school, like I liked his friends, and some of his friends were like cute guys, and like I would go see his band perform because that was fun, and it was kind of like a way to get into a bar as an underage person.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fun. So, and what about, were your parents creative types?
Like they both played the drums, oddly.
Oh.
But not to any like extreme level of skill. I think my mom was a dilettante. My dad was perhaps a more adept, and my dad will sit in with bands sometimes, but it's hard to say if like he's just being humored.
I see what you're saying. Yep. No, but so you had like a drum set in the house, or?
No, he would play like the bongos and the congas. So it's like not even like real like drum skill.
Oh my God, I love it.
But we did have a drum set in the house for my brother's band because the band practiced at our house.
Oh, okay. And how did your parents, were they supportive of you in your theatrical endeavors in high school?
Yeah, I mean, I was like, it was like the support came early. Like I was in city theater stuff starting as young as like 8, and I was sent to like acting camps. Like I had the benefit of invested parents in that way. Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. I didn't know any of that about you. For some reason, I pictured you, to be honest, I pictured you more of a partier in high school.
I really wasn't. I never got high until college. I got drunk a few times, but I did not have like cool enough friends to be a partier. I think maybe my senior year I started getting invited to stuff, but it wasn't the vibe.
Right. And would you say that you were always funny?
My friends would say that. I don't know if I would say that. But like the friends that I did have did describe me as funny. People always described me as funny.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you were doing theater and stuff like that, were you drawn to comedy at that early age?
Yes, for sure. Yes. Yeah.
Because you don't come across as, even though you just said that you're a Cancer and everything, I don't see you as being somebody who maybe cries a lot.
I'm really not.
Yeah.
But I will cry, but
yeah. No, I mean, I'm not either, but is it you and your brother, and are there other siblings?
I have an older sister as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And she did theater she was in it first, and then I followed. Yeah.
Ah, I see. And does she cry?
I bet she cries more than me. She seems more like generally in touch with her feminine side. Emotionally intelligent. I don't know if any of us became very emotionally intelligent, but maybe I'm shorting us, but I would. She is emotionally intelligent. Yeah, like and especially. Where is she? She's in San Diego. Oh, nice. Do you ever go out there? Yeah, I've been a bunch of times. So I have a niece now, and so that's so cute. She looks just like me and acts just like me when I was a kid, and so it's like fascinating. Oh, that's so fun. Yeah. Now, have you done comedy in San Diego? I haven't done it. I've never done it in Arizona either, where I'm from. Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of keep family separate from comedy. I think that's a good idea. Oh. So then when you went to college, what'd you go to college for? I went to college to get out of my home. That was the primary goal.
Yeah.
And mostly succeeded there. I didn't understand what college was when I got there. So like the idea that you pick a major and then like that becomes the majority of your classes and a whole, like none of that was on my radar when I got there. So I knew you had a major minor, but I thought that was something you picked like your senior year, what you wrote a thesis on. Like I really didn't understand that was like, you really spent most of your time focusing on that stuff. So I picked majors, I picked psychology.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated that actually. No, I hated it. It sucked. I was like, oh, where everyone's just kind of guessing. Sounds like this is not science at all and is actually terrifying. That people are just like, oh, here's some random symptoms. Why don't we call it this? And I'm
right.
It's like, well, how did that happen? Oh, we don't know. How do you fix it? Oh, we don't know that either. It's like, oh, fuck you then. What is this? What is this exactly? And even since I've graduated, they've changed the names of mental illnesses and the conditions of it. So it's like, so much of what I learned was like, yeah, we were just kind of guessing.
Yeah.
So I got a minor in linguistics, which I did find very interesting.
Oh, that is really interesting. So did you study foreign languages with that, or what do you study with linguistics?
Well, I focused on phonology, which is like the study of how the sounds are connected to create words and like the different universal laws that all languages follow. And there's like, it's perhaps like the most mathematical you're going to get with letters.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I don't know anything about that, but do you ever talk about that kind of stuff in your comedy?
No, I think if I ever were, it would just be about that time in my life, as opposed to like I'm not going to Gallagher it and just being like, though, thou, but like, I'm not gonna, like, it's been done. Like, and I fully loved that stuff when I watched it as a kid because I like phonology. I just don't think it's like specifically very funny to a lot of people.
I mean, dude, but a lot of comedy is kind of going that simple route lately, don't you think?
That doesn't mean we have to, Kendra.
I agree. I 100% agree, but it's like, it kind of, to me, I feel like the label that people put on stand-up comedy now is not really what I consider stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, you're also, I know you're very concerned about these TikTok comics, and I don't consider that stand-up comedy.
Right.
So it's not stand-up comedy. There's a unique risk to being in front of a live audience that TikTok comics never face, and you just can't compare them. And
I agree, but
yeah,
but the thing, I guess the reason that I'm saying stand-up comedy is because sometimes these TikTok people, or
they leave the app. They leave the app.
They leave the app, and
I know it's disgusting. They show up in real life,
and they are suddenly at clubs, actually, but they some of them,
and they sell out. That doesn't make it stand-up comedy. That makes it a live performance of their TikTok.
No,
I mean, some of them maybe are good. I don't want to like.
I guess you know what I think. It's just coming to me now through this dialogue with you is that I think the thing that really irks me. It's not so much that they're being stand-up comics. It's that people seem to like that better than comedy, and that makes me crazy because stand-up comedy, I really still believe, is such like a unique craft that is hard to be good at.
Yes.
And it seems like people don't care as much about it as they used to, of that particular craft. Anyway.
I mean, you're right, but like opera used to be the pinnacle of entertainment. All right. And imagine these opera stars seeing stand-up comics being like, they didn't even train for a million years. All they did was get on stage and drink with their friends until they like laughed at their own fart jokes or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like, it's not new. And like, are we getting dumber and lamer? Yes. I don't know.
Well, I you know what, I'm glad, I like that you have, that it doesn't bother you. It's nice to talk to somebody who doesn't let them let it bother them the way that it bothers me. So thank you.
Oh, well,
Thank you for being that. I feel like if we were taking mushrooms, you'd be helping me stop staring in the toilet right now.
There we go. Like the beauty of what TikTok can show us is something you should aspire to, which is that it means that anyone can find their audience. And so, you know what, those people who would prefer to see a TikTok, I don't know.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. I think it makes me want to be more, it makes me care in some weird way. It makes me care less about being super prepared and polished, like, about things. But I also feel like I never thought that could be fun for me. And now, like, when I go to shows and I'm like, I know I have some ideas of the things that I'm going to talk about, but I actually have a little bit more fun being relaxed.
I do know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually filmed a special on Monday.
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
And I had 4 days to prepare. And so for something like that, you'd want to be very polished. And truth be told, I wish I was more polished for that. That's not how it shook out, you know what I mean? But like for something like that, a taping where you have the opportunity to say exactly what you want to say, how you want to say it, that is something to be polished for. But then the next night I had the opportunity to perform in a basement in Bushwick, and I'd already taped all my jokes and I could say whatever I want. And let me tell you how much more fun I had, and also how much better my performance was in that basement.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you. I really, it's very interesting. I mean, to me, I never really did anything creative in my life till I started doing stand-up. So,
Really?
I did, I shouldn't say that. I did do, I always liked to write, but I never was in plays, or when I was like, I was an athlete in college. I mean, an athlete in high school, and in college, I just, did what I had to do and waited to go out at night, and party, and then I got a job, but anyways, point being, to me, it's really fascinating as somebody who really got into their creativity from stand-up to have been doing stand-up for as long as I have, and still feel like, I guess in my mind, I always kind of felt like someday I will master this and I won't have anything more to learn. And like, I feel like I still am, like, I'm still trying. I didn't even realize it till this, that I was never like, I was always kind of like, I would go to shows and like, no matter where I was, and I would like, be like, I know exactly what I'm going to say for the 8 to 10 minutes that they put me on. Yeah. I would barely ever like relax and like kind of like be like, fuck it or whatever.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh, actually that feels pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Feels much more in line.
That's great. I mean, the last time I saw you at your show, you were incredible. And you said that was a new thing, a new bit you were working on. So
thank you. Oh, that was my share thing.
It's such a great story.
Thank you. It's
such a great story.
But I like that room because it feels like kind of like a little party,
Yeah, it did feel like a party.
A safe party. All right, enough about that.
Okay.
So, listen, so the special taping went well.
Yeah, I think so.
It's over and done with. And why did it come up so quickly?
So,
are you allowed to say?
Yeah, I don't think it's I hope I didn't sign an NDA, so
okay.
A production company, is making a series of specials to then sell to a streamer,
right.
And so they had all these specials booked and different sets built and all this stuff. And at the last minute, one of the comics had to drop out due to a family emergency.
Oh.
And they don't want to lose
Yeah.
a 12th of what they've just invested in.
Right.
You know, can we find somebody else to perform an hour-long special with 4 days notice? And I was called and just was like, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
Just,
That's
you know,
awesome.
like, it's like terrifying. I'm like, you know, in theory, you know, you're special, you'd tour it on the road for months and then you'd promote it for months. So that way your audience is, you know, involved and there and supportive and everything's pinned down and you know exactly what I had none of that.
Right.
For better or worse, you know, like it's not what I envisioned for my first comedy special. But
I mean,
life is short.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of can't say no to, you can't say no to such a random lucky phone call that everything's already all set up for you.
I didn't have to vet any of my material, which was like how I got paid nicely. The money is already in my bank. I got paid half of it the second I signed a contract. The contract looks, I read it myself, reasonable, like I own my material, like they don't, you know what I mean? So I was like, how am I going to get fucked here? And it really all seemed like upsides, other than let's say it does go out and becomes popular and it's just the worst comedy special you've ever seen. And now I look like an asshole. But even now in this TikTok era, it's like even being scandalously bad would be better for my career than being known as much as I am now.
Yep. I mean, I have to agree. I mean,
yeah,
you know,
like
that it is.
People who are famously bad are booked so much more and make so much more money than I ever will be.
Right.
So fuck it. What's the downside?
Right.
I don't want to be bad.
Right. Well, you wouldn't, it's not going to be bad because you're funny and that, like, you know, like, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, it will never be as bad as people who are actually bad.
Right. So do you know when that'll be?
They're editing it now. I only filmed it Monday. You know, we're still filming some over the weekend. No, the last couple days. I can't believe.
Where was it again?
It was filmed at a venue called Garwood's. I mean, it was at Crossroads in a place called in Garwood, New Jersey.
Oh, okay. Was it a cool venue?
It was a great venue. It seated like 80 to 100. So it was like really intimate and nice. There was like a bunch of cameras. The set looked gorgeous. Like it's gonna look, I think, really incredible.
Right. And did you know any of the other comics?
The comic that taped the night I did, they're doing 2 comics a night. I know Renan Hirschberg.
Oh, okay.
He's great. And I didn't get to see his because I was in a makeup chair for the whole time. But and then like Wendy Liebman did one, which I'm like a huge fan. So when I saw that, I was like, wait, I'm in a series of specials with Wendy Liebman. And Tommy Tiernan and Tom Cotter, like some really like vets.
Right.
So, but like, I'm like, how am I the youngest person in this series? Like me and Renan, and then everyone's like in their 60s easy. So it was really funny.
That's so fun. Well, congratulations. I'm excited. I will be very excited to see it. So I know you said you don't have Austin in the books yet, but
I'm supposed to go. I'm just, you know, Karen was like, come mooch off my success. And I was like, yeah, maybe I will, you know, but I don't have to.
Will she be there?
She is going to be opening for Jim Norton all weekend.
Oh, okay.
And so like, was just basically like, come, I'm sure we can figure out spots for you. And
right.
Yeah.
And what about, I guess my only other question is, you know, I feel like, have you ever done like short films?
Like as not really, like I guess like I worked like in the production side of stuff just when I was getting my footing, but like as like a writer, no, as an actor, not really, no.
It's so funny because I love all of your comedy, but a lot of the comedy that I love of yours is like, you know, like you said before, it has a lot of it has a story to it. And really translates very visually when you're listening. You automatically, at least for me, I automatically kind of visualize it.
Oh, great.
Yeah. And that's why I was wondering, like, if you ever did that.
It's honestly maybe not short films, but like I think my larger aspiration is to write something more cinematic.
Yeah.
But I haven't done that yet. I hope maybe soon.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the conversation that's going to get me doing that. Why not?
Well, I mean, it only makes sense because you know how to produce, and you're in, New York City. You have plenty of people around, and you could get something done in a day with 5 people, and
Yeah, I just need to write the script, and like that, my day job, I sit there and write scripts and make little short things all day, every day. Like, and you're right, I have a million contacts. I know it's all waiting for me. It's really like about getting over my own shit and writing a script.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that you do it and you put yourself in it, because I think that would be, nice for me. Like what's the way I can't think of the words that I want to say, but basically like just another way to highlight your creativity and express yourself in that way. And I think your stuff would really translate well in that genre.
Thanks.
Not that I have any pull, not that what I think matters, but just as a comedy fan, observer, and all that jazz. That's my.
Well, you're an incredible actress. So if I do write something, I know I can go to you.
You're very kind. I think that I don't know if I told you this last time I saw you, but I've been taking these intuition classes.
No.
That's probably why I didn't tell you, because I knew you'd be like, okay, whatever.
Okay, but like, just the term intuition classes, is that not an oxymoron?
I know. I guess I'm. Maybe I should say it a different way, but the truth is it's a class, so I don't know how else to say it. And you can, like any muscle, really, you can increase your intuition. And
I totally think that is something that can be taught. It really caught me. The irony.
What I want to say is that I really feel like there is a part of me that could really get into that life of being like a woo-woo healer, spiritual person, You
want to know? Okay, so how I listen to like these science podcasts or whatever. I was listening to a different one, Diary of a CEO, and it's like this like self-made millionaire who's like basically Trevor Noah but deep. I guess Trevor Noah is deep, right? But like deeper.
Right.
And he was saying how his partner, he met doing a breathwork class somewhere, and I was like, I need to be a breathwork teacher. This is what I'm like, that's how you get a hotter, younger, richer Trevor Noah. Like,
well, the thing is that like I actually looked into like taking sound bath classes on how to be a sound bath.
Your accent, by the way, for a sound bath class, Kendra. Now take your balls.
Don't
hear that ringing?
Don't be thinking about your mother or your father right now. All right. I want everyone to just relax. But anyways, it really is like a little thing that I'm like, ooh, I don't see that as too far out of my wheelhouse of things that I might want to investigate further. I bring that up only because I wanted to ask, do you ever think about other careers that you would, if you weren't doing like comedy and producing and stuff like that, is there something else that you'd be like, I think that sounds like a really interesting job?
Yeah, like philanthropist. like I would just love to have unlimited resources and just sort of like help the issues that I think need, like, I think I know how life should be run. Wouldn't it be great if I could just run life? Like this is the lofty way I think of what I would do with my time. But like if I won the lottery or something.
Is there one, like right off the top of your head, what would be the first issue that you think you would address?
I think I would love to start free mindfulness courses to teens, to children and teens. I think like there's a lot of distraction right now, and it's like, I think that's something that people don't teach you as a kid that could really like, I think kids are so angry or isolated.
Yeah.
And I think it could help with both issues.
I think that's a great idea.
Just non-religious, just check in with yourself, fucking shit.
Listen, when I'm, I have plans to magically be wealthy in the next 2 years.
Inshallah.
It has a lot to do with my wait, is that what does that mean?
That's a Muslim term for like, with God's will it'll happen type of a.
Oh, I like that. Say it again.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. All right, I'm gonna get a t-shirt with that on that.
Yeah.
And when I do get my big bucks, I will fund any philanthropy project you want. And guess what? And guess what? I won't even ask to see the books. I will just trust you. I will just trust you with the cash.
Oh, yeah. All that money we'd make from free mindfulness classes to teens. Yeah.
I'll be like, did you see that photo of her? She was out to that very expensive restaurant.
Yeah. If I were rich, I would definitely spend money on fancy restaurants. I can't imagine.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I like to think I would be pretty similar to what I am now. Mm-hmm. But I really don't know how a lot of money would affect me. I don't know if I would have maybe it'd be a lot easier for me to express the anger towards the lady who can't get my prescription called in, right? I don't know.
Yeah, you'd become a Karen in no time.
Yeah, I hope not, but
no,
I could see how that could happen to people.
I don't think so. They say money does not change you. No. It just shows you who you are.
No, listen to this philanthropist over here.
So yeah.
All right. Well, listen, this has been really fun.
That's it. We did it.
I know, we did it. I kind of wish I could go on and on, but I know you have.
Did you get to talk about everything you wanted to? I know I pulled the conversation away.
I think so. I'm sure I'll walk away and say, oh, I forgot to ask that one thing. But I mean, for me, I think it was I like hearing about, people when they were young and how they became. Oh, well, I guess the one question that I didn't get to ask you is, when is the first time you went up on stage as a stand-up comedian? Do you know?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. It was another situation where I got an opportunity I wasn't ready for. I was in.
Well, wait, can I just say I just want to reframe that, because you were ready for this special, but.
Yes. 15 years and 4 days.
Yes. Okay.
Right.
Oh, really? Is that what it was?
No, like I've been doing this for 15 years, but I had 4 days to
yeah. Sorry.
Synthesize that.
Right.
But I was doing improv in college, which is not even remotely the same thing. I think we all know. And some producer in LA reached out to me and was like, we're making a reality show about stand-up comics. Can you audition for it? And I was like, yeah. So I had like a week maybe or something to like write my first stand-up act and perform at like this place. It was called Mixed Nuts in South Central LA. The whole audience was Black. At this point, I'd been raised in Scottsdale and I went to UC Irvine. I'd had like maybe 10 meaningful conversations with a Black person in my life. You know what I mean? So like, which not to say I was like intimidated, but like the connection was like,
yeah,
there was like a wide cultural gap, sort of. And I bombed terribly, of course. I think I got one laugh right out the gate, being like commenting on how bizarre this situation was, that this
Right.
little white girl was there, but
Right. And so then did you then pursue it, or did you were like, I don't want to do that again?
no, yeah, I didn't do it again for years.
Yeah. And when you did it, did you just, when you went back to it, did you just go, fuck it, I'm going to go to an open mic, or did you take a class or work like?
No, I graduated college. I took more improv classes. I never went back to stand up until I moved to New York. And then I didn't start stand up until after I'd already been in New York for almost a year.
Oh, and did you just go to an open mic, or what'd you do?
Yeah, I was taking improv classes, and a friend of mine I met in the class was doing open mics, and she brought me.
Yeah. And do you remember where it was?
Yeah, it was New York Comedy Club, the 23rd, 24th Street location. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But it was different then.
Yeah. I remember the old one.
Yeah.
And then I think it was owned by different people.
Yeah, it may have been. And it was like this tiny little room, and like some of the, like, it wasn't like open mics now, it was like old men who'd been failing for years with the same shitty jokes, and like, it, and maybe that's always what it's like at the clubs, but now like there's so many open mics for young hip kids to just like, I don't think that even existed the same way when I started, maybe not when you started either.
Yeah, no, not at all. And the funny thing is that now I feel like you can literally find an open mic. You can find an all women open mic. You can find a, queer open mic. You can find whatever. You can find different genres of open mics, which is a whole other thing, which means like it clearly is a very oversaturated form of creativity.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start singing. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, there aren't any people trying to be singers right now. This is a good time.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I'll be a singer and
do you sing? Do you sing, Kendra?
Intuitive. I've never sung in public in my life. No. I would love to. I really feel like sometimes
not even karaoke?
Yeah, sorry, I've done karaoke. I have done karaoke. But I mean, I've never performed, I've never sung. I've never presented myself in public as a serious singer,
Yeah.
Like I've never been like, oh, I'm going to sing in this play, or I'm going to just go out and whatever. But
caroling.
When I think that it's a really, I every year I put it on my thing. Take singing lessons.
Really? Oh, do it.
Yeah. I mean, I have taken singing lessons. Like I'll take like 3 lessons and then I don't do it. And but one on my bucket list is to sing. I want to be able to sing rock and roll.
Yeah.
And
is there a song that you particularly want to sing?
Well, one of the songs that I wanted to learn to sing was this song called All I Really Want Is Money.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of that song? Now I'm totally
is it like that weird, like kind of like robotic song?
Wait,
I don't think I'm thinking of the right song.
It's his name, the guy's name is Alex Chilton. Wait, let me see. Can I do this? That's how it goes. Can you hear it?
No.
Or you can't?
No.
Oh.
I'll look it up. Listen.
Fuck it. I'll put it, it doesn't matter. Anyway, we're not here to talk about me anyway. We're here to talk about you. All right, well, let's wrap it up. Last question. This will really be the last question.
Okay.
Have you ever had a nickname?
I've had a number of nicknames.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you have a favorite?
I mean, the most common was Foxy.
I was gonna go with that, yeah.
And I had little Fox because my sister was Big Fox.
I love it. I mean, it's such a prime name for nicknames.
Yeah. They used to call my pussy the foxhole, which is pretty good.
Wait a minute. Who's they? You're like, they used to call it, like there was a
my college friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. As long as it wasn't like a group of guys that all had sex with you who were sitting around going,
yeah, it's my college friend.
Foxhole therapy.
Yeah.
For all of those who've been there and back. All right, listen, thank you so much. So great seeing you. I hope I get to see you more this summer. I know we haven't seen much of each other since the pandemic, but I always love seeing you.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So thank you. And wait, don't leave. I'm going to end the recording.
Okay.
Goodbye. I think.
Well,
I like to say bye.
Say bye.
I like to say bye separately.
Okay.
But fake bye.
Fake bye.